areas, particularly secondary school education, because secondary schools are very pivotal to whatever we're going to be doing education wise in the nation. That's why we are glad that you are here with us today to be a part of us by listening to the program. The program is on the bill of Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools, Nigeria, ASUS, Ekiti State. ASUS is a trade union for secondary school teachers across Nigeria, and here in Ekiti, the union will do everything within its capacity to ensure that the welfare of our members are well taken care of. Again, we thank you for finding time to join us on the program. As usual, if you'd like to know more about the union, please send all your inquiries to 0803 40475. Again, the number is 0803 40475. And also, if you want to be a part of us as we proceed on the program today, you can also send your comments to us through that number or through the studio line, which I will give you shortly. But for today on this program, something very juicy, it's coming up. It's no news to let us know that teachers are very pivotal to the development of the nation, because the kind of students, the kind of future that we will be getting are products of these teachers. And so it's very important for us to take care of them and focus on their welfare, which is what we have always been saying on the program. But today I have two guests in the house who will be talking to us about some very, very important things that are very, very relevant to teachers, and not just to teachers, that also very relevant to every one of us indeed. And that's why I'd like you to stay closer to your radio and also be a part of our discussion as we move on the program today. Well, let me introduce my guests before we get into the crux of our discussion for this wonderful Saturday. I'd like to welcome the Executive Director of Shaping Tomorrow Today initiative. It's a non-governmental organization. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the studio. And Mrs. Is it Mrs.?
Yes.
Yes, Mrs. Ademulegun
Joy.
John. Right, thank you very much. Welcome to Progress FM and welcome to Teachers Half Hour.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And also we have Bukky Lawal also with us in the studio today. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now let's get on into what we want to discuss on Teachers Half Hour today. But before we get into all of that, I just want to start by asking you, when we talk about teachers and different pictures will come into our heads, teachers, and we think about primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, and all of that. But then these people have played various roles in our individual lives growing up. But to you as a professional, when we say a teacher, who are we referring to? How do you describe a teacher?
To me, if I want to describe a teacher, I would say a teacher, they are just like our parent. Even in this social situation now, the teacher seems even more important than the parent, because students seem to stay more in school than they do with their parents at home. The roles of most parents have been pushed to the teachers, so they are like parents. As a matter of fact, by extension, I see them as demigods because they have been shaping the future of these children. Sometimes when you don't believe in yourself and your teacher believes in you, you have a long way to go. It's like helping you to shape your future. And aside that, they are role models. Children tend to believe more in their teachers. So when the teacher says, do this, they are ready to do because they believe their future lies in their teachers. So teachers are not just ordinary people, they are the future shapers.
I like that definition of teachers. Makes me want to start considering, following that path. But if you look at our contemporary society today, both public and private schools now, particularly let's focus on the primary and the secondary schools now. Would you say that this description perfectly fits people occupying these positions in our schools? Do you think they really are what you have just described? I'd like you to quickly comment on that.
Okay, well, when you talk about the teachers anyway, it's so unfortunate that the societies has really brainwashed people that they think that teachers are not as important as we portray them to be. The society tend to think that teachers are people that I don't want to use this word, but permit me, frustrated people. That when you go to the university and you're unable to get a good course, you can settle for education. Or when you feel that you don't have a job, you can just get a teaching job, penny when you get a better one. So I think the society is trying to redefine what teaching means, and it's quite unfortunate.
All right. So for you hold teachers in high esteem, and I think they should be held in such high esteems. Now, we always to talk about the future. One of the things we joke with now these days is when we were younger, they said, "You are the future, you are the future," and all of that. Now, today we are in the future, but yet we are leaders of tomorrow, and then we are in the tomorrow now, and then we are not leading anything. Now, but then we know that teachers play roles in shaping the future, as it were. What specific roles do they play in shaping the future of a nation like ours?
Yeah, thank you very much. We are saying the future. The future of teachers or students is different from our own the days when teachers they teach you in the class by rote learning, but these days generation of students these days is about the soft skills
Yes, of
training in order to prepare the student for the future. And when we're talking about soft skills, I think that teachers also should prepare the student in the aspect of their thinking skills, because the student should be taught how to think, not how to be dependent on teachers, because things are changing. And until our students are being prepared to be able to think by themselves, they won't be able to do a lot of things coming in the future. So we should look into the soft skills, their communication skills, their thinking skills should be looked into by the future teachers.
Okay, I like to get a little bit deeper into that. You mentioned soft skills. Are you referring to their ability to pass knowledge to the students, or are there other things you mean by saying soft skills?
Yeah, there are other things that I mean by soft skills. Beyond academics, we should discover the strength of our students. We should discover that the next generation is more than academics. There are ways we need to discover their talents. There are ways we need to strengthen them, that things are changing. For example, the world is going through AI, that is artificial intelligence, where children are being prepared to build up robots, because most industries will be taken over by robots. And if we don't prepare the students for that future, then what do they have to do? So if we don't prepare those aspects to discover them now, their interest, they are developing them in their soft areas apart from academics. It's not enough to say I am first position in class, I am second position in class. Even that child that is last position in class could have an extraordinary talent that a teacher needs to discover and develop it, and make sure that that child use that talent for that future that we are talking about.
Okay, now these things are quite interesting. I must confess, being able to identify and help the child to grow some of these talents you have mentioned. Now, what impact will this have on the future? Because I want us to believe that what the life we're living now, the state of the nation, the state of the world now, is a product of the learnings of yesterday. Now we're going to live the rest of our lives in the future, and then we need to be careful about what we putting forward to that future. So what impact will these things have in that future? Because we will
I actually believe that it will have a great impact, because in fact it's going to help the nation as a whole, because like you said, that the product of students that we produce determines even the quality of the nation. Because these future children we're talking about, they're going to be the president of tomorrow, they're going to be in the House of Assembly, but if you don't give it to them right now, then when do you want to prepare them for that position? And we're talking about future. The future is right now. So whatever you don't prepare for, when it happens to you, it becomes, it gets you unaware. So it's going to affect our nation. We're going to have leaders that can make positive decisions, leaders that can think ahead even for his own next generation. It's going to affect even individually. We're going to bring up students that are self-confident, students that are beyond academic intelligence, that can defend themselves, that can compete all over the world. Those are the products of these things we're going to have. It's going to have a lot of effect. in this children.
Okay, we'll get back to that because I'm interested in the future too. But then, now when we look at teaching in our contemporary world, it's a profession filled with challenges. I've had opportunity to speak to many teachers, and I've seen a trend that even for those who are the best of them, the most committed of these teachers, they still have lots of challenges they need to face and also conquer so that they can do their jobs effectively. In your experience, what would you say are some of these challenges that teachers should be prepared to conquer so that they can be able to do that which they should do?
Yeah, thank you. One of the things that I think teachers should be prepared to conquer is themselves. Until you have a self-confidence in yourself that you are a professional, you are not just a riffraff that anybody can refer to the way the society is referring to you. Until you conquer yourself that I am a prestigious person, then I think you are a step ahead. And in doing that, you need to train yourself. How well trained, how well exposed are you as a teacher? You want people to refer to you as a professional. Are you really a professional? What are you doing to yourself that people will see the professionalism in you? How are you delivering the job? It is not enough for people to tag you, but it is your courage. It is your self-development that makes people define who exactly you are. Fine, we have challenges from parents, that the way they address us. We have challenges even from the government. The kind of payment, the salary that is given to teachers is not worth it. Compared to the knowledge, compared to the stress, compared to the sleepless nights we go through to train these children, we have a lot of, even from the student we teach, there are challenges. Both physically, spiritually, we face challenges. In fact, you take some students in class that are way, in fact, their level of intellect is not so high. But as a teacher, you take it upon yourself to teach such a child to be able to become somebody in life. It's a lot of hard work that cannot be quantified with the kind of money that we are being paid. But notwithstanding, let's keep doing it, because anything you do for the nature, which I mean that raising a child is a service to the nature, to humanity, will have a reward. And I want to tell you that reward of teachers is not in heaven.
Let me go and say that. I want to talk about some of the challenges that the teachers also have.
Please do.
You know, when we talk about teaching as a profession, it's a noble profession. Well, unfortunately, the society is not seeing it that way. And what's it called, the government, they're not even putting effort in encouraging these people. The salary structure is so poor. Remember that most of these teachers too, they have families, they have children to cater for, they have husband, a lot of things to do. They have social commitment that they have to do with money. So if you are looking at it from the aspect that, oh, they have to sacrifice themselves, I think that the way we have to balance this sacrifice with what they earn. And aside that, you know, they are not robots. The environment is not conducive for learning. So many things are backward. Sometimes you go to school, they're still using chalkboard when others are using interactive board. It's so ridiculous. All these are challenges. And aside that, I think this notion, like she said, that the reward of teachers should be in heaven. For crying out loud, before you get to heaven, you have to eat.
Yes.
You have to eat something, you have to clothe yourself. And there are three major things that are important to human beings. That's feeding, clothing, and shelter. I think the government should be able to provide feeding for them, a good salary structure that will help them to feed well, have good shelter. They can probably organize this kind of low-cost estate for teachers, and at the same time, they should be able to afford good clothes. You know, we say that the way you are dressed is how you are dressed, right? Yes, we are dressed the way you are dressed. If you don't have money, sometimes it's difficult to even dress well. So all those, the government should put it into consideration, and I think the society, especially the parents too, they have to understand and respect these teachers. They are doing so well for us. I think we need to appreciate that.
We should, and I think we will continue to do that for some of us. But thank you very much. If you have just joined us, you're on to Teachers Half Hour. This is Radio Nigeria, Progress 100.5 FM Ado-Ekiti. Teachers Half Hour is on the bill of Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools Nigeria, ASUS Ekiti State, a trade union for secondary school teachers across Nigeria. If you like to ask any question, like to find out more about the union, or if you already are a member and you like to enjoy many of these welfare schemes that this union asks for our members, please direct your inquiries to 0803 22 40475. 0803 22 40475. Include your name and location when you send in your text message. You can be sure that someone will be waiting at the other side to respond to all your messages. On Teachers Half Hour this lovely Saturday, I have two would I say educators in the house, let me put it that way, who we are discussing how we all can come together and push forward the teaching profession in the country. We have Mrs. Ademulegun, Joy John. Thank you again for coming on the program today.
Thank you very
And we
much.
also have Bukky Lawal with us on the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And dear listener, you can join us now on the program. We'd like to have you call in or send your text message if you can. The number is 0903 063 0805. 0903 063 0805. If you'd like to contribute on what we're discussing, what we can do where we are, how we all can come together to help push the teaching profession forward. Okay. And definitely, my guests are still very much here on the program today. Now, just before the phone line will start buzzing and we'll start taking messages and phone calls, I'd like to quickly point out two things from what we have discussed I think we should elaborate on. And the first one is training. Many teachers have been on the job since day one. Some are already counting down the number of months to their retirement. Some are already in the middle, 15 years down the line and 20 years down the line. And some have that same knowledge they had when they first went to school, to teacher training in the NCE level or at BSc level. They have that knowledge and they have been using that knowledge. But we live in a rapidly changing world. What roles do training play in helping teachers bring out the best that is in them?
Yeah, the role of training in education is so important because changes is a constant thing. Because things change every day. And as long as we experience changes in life, and I think we should train ourselves in order to meet up with these changes. So teachers that has been trained 20 years ago, I'm sorry to use this word, may not be relevant anymore in this generation because the system of teaching, the method of teaching, a lot of things has changed. So if you are not training yourself to update yourself, at the end of the day, before you know it, you will no more be relevant. And the sad part of it is that the same old school thing that you know is the same old school thing you teach those children. And the old school nature continue to the next generation. And before you know it, we are many more years backward than other nations that are training themselves,
updating
themselves every day. So as long as change is a constant thing, I think training should be part of teachers' training.
Okay, now I just want to ask a follow-up to that because this union, Academic Staffing of Secondary Schools, always takes that position you have just explained, that it's important to continually upgrade on the job, that you can't rely on what you knew yesterday, you have to be up to date. Now, what specific areas do you think teachers should update themselves? What areas do you think they need to improve their knowledge so that they can deliver the best?
For me, I think the soft skill is very important, like the emotional intelligence. During my days in school, I'm not trying to water down the effort of my teachers, although they made me what I am today. So I'm not in any position to water down what they did for me. But I discovered that most of them don't even understand their students. Their students are different. So if they have skilled themselves in the area of emotional